Alright, here is the video review for something I am now much more excited for than I was even when it was on the way. This is Cang Toys CT-01 FEROCIOUS. It is the first member of what is Predaking. Now, I don't know all the details yet. We've seen pictures of 3 of them. We've seen Rampage, obviously, or FEROCIOUS here. We've seen the Tantrum and Dive Bomb, as well as a couple of little bits. It's looking like the torso may be made up of both Razor Claw and the Gorilla. That's speculation. I don't know how specific at the time of shooting this video, unless that maybe it's possible something pops up in the next day or two before this goes live. But yeah, we haven't seen the whole thing yet. I am usually I will not jump in on a third-party combiner until I see at least what the combiner itself is going to look like, or at least have a pretty good idea. But I do like the Predacons. This guy looked fun, and I figured I'd check him out. And if this is any indication, like, I'm totally excited for the rest of this, regardless of what stylistic choices they make for the overall combiner. I trust them because they've done a lot of really smart things with this figure. Like, I was already kind of excited to check him out, and then I got to play with him, and it's just fantastically done. So first off, here he is in his saber-tooth mode, I guess. He's got his fangs, he's got an opening jaw. The head can turn a little bit and come out. You can, his ears can angle. I don't know why you'd want to have them vertically up like that, but you can move his ears. His tail, you can see his joint here. Actually, that should probably, well, it doesn't lock on there, but it will lock on it. That's a tab for a different mode, but tail can move up and down. It's got a hinge there, a hinge here, a hinge here, a hinge here, and then a hinge at the tip. So neat little gun detail, but you've got a lot of posability there in the tail itself. Which just that, and that's just the tail. There's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is up and down and side to side. 5, 6, 7 joints just from here to here, which is pretty cool. You said you've got the mouth, the legs have there's a ball joint inside here. Got a pretty decent range of motion. This knee also moves at the top of the knee as well as the bottom of the knee. The paws, claws have some hinges there. Ball joint there in the foot itself. So some good range of motion in that paw. Same with the front paws. You've got a ball joint where the paw connects to the leg, and as well as up and down claws. Swivel there because that's his arm, but you hear the ratcheting clicks there. The neck itself is fairly immobile, but at the head there's a ball joint. You can see there in the head. Now, if you have to extend his neck out a little bit further, then looks comfortable to get some of the range of motion, but it is there. All the way around. Just a really nice, and he's hefty too. Like, I can't, this just looks like it may just be shiny stuff. This may be metal. I can't 100% tell. That may be die cast there. I'm pretty sure this is plastic. Well, this part up here may be metal. This is painted plastic, definitely, on this orange piece. These pieces right here might be die cast. He certainly has the heft as if there's die cast, but yeah, I guess that is a little cooler. It's hard to get in there to really test this stuff, but I feel like these are metal, and these pieces right here may also be metal there on the rib cage-ish bits. But yeah, like decent size and got a good bit of heft to him and feels solidly constructed. A little bit of a Zoid look to the design, which I'm also kind of digging with the vents and stuff here on the legs. But that's pretty cool. We're going to talk about, since he does form an arm, he does come with the hand needed to form that right arm. And I want to talk about the hand real quick because I'd seen this when I was looking at this, and when I was looking up pictures for some of the other ones when I was first playing with them, I remembered, oh yeah, this is the one that had that add-on kit that was going to have little crabs that turned into his hand. And I was, thought it was 1 crab per hand, and also that it was an add-on kit. Both of those are wrong. This hand here, which you can see, and we'll show it off again in arm mode, but you can see it's got a dual hinge here at the thumb, a ball joint there in the thumb, and then both knuckles. Each finger has knuckle, and a fingertip. Can also hinge side to side, as well as up here. So you've got a lot of posability here in the hand and how it works. But also, as I mentioned, transform. So you take this up. Come on, this should be coming attached here. Oh, how is this stuck in there? Okay, something ain't right here, because that should just, oh, you know what? I know what it is. It's because this is locked in. I did that backwards. So this metal piece right here, you lift up, and then the whole assembly can move it out very easily. Right, that's what locks it in place. So you bring this out and around, and then you bring this down and around and kind of fold this in, because this piece is going to fold down over the, it should fold, there we go. You rotate the right hinge here. There we go. We'll fold up into the arm here. It's supposed to fold up and form. Did I do this wrong? There we go. There we go. So bring this up, out and around like this. Fold it up, and you can see this piece fits over, and then the thumb tip can widen out and give him a little pinchy claw. And then we can rotate forward like that. So you see the crab arm, and then the legs, the fingers can splay out to form the legs. This piece untabs. You flip this up, rotate this squeaky bit around so it plugs in right up here. Then you fold this piece down and around like this. But this piece will now plug in. Wait, something's not right there. I think I did this wrong. It needs to rotate this way. Super squeaky, which is a little scary, but yeah, there we go. Folds down like that, and then this is half a crab. You can see there's his eye, there's his claw, there's his legs, and then the other hand will form the other half of the crab right off the bat. Again, we'll get to the specifics. We'll show off the hand mode when we get to the arm mode, but it's pretty cool that you're going to get like not even an add-on kit or anything extra. The hands just turn into half crabs, and then so you've got like yet another creature. So when everybody's in alt mode, you've still got a little companion guy. Very spiky. Anyway, on to FEROCIOUS himself, and we're going to go from here. The instructions go from here to limb mode, and I think it's going to make sense to go from here to limb mode and to arm mode and then into robot mode. And it's really, again, elegantly done. So we'll come up here, and right off the bat, we'll open up this little chest piece up here. Comes loose. You don't need to pull it out a lot. The instructions are very specific into how many degrees you need to think, but just basically just unpeg it from here, open up these orange panels, and then slide this whole assembly up and around, up the torso, and then clip it back into place here. If we can get it, did it come all the way up? I don't know if it came all the way up here. So this should snap back in. There we go. Just got to get it up high enough here. So snap back over the top, and then plug this back in, and it just raises this whole torso piece just a smidge. The head will come back here. Unpeg this piece right here, and fold the head down. Untab these and fold the head down on a hinge into where it will sit on the robot mode chest, but for right now we're just going to leave these two panels. These two panels will hide inside the chest when the head flips out, but for arm mode we're just going to bring this down and leave these open, at which point this opens up, and we'll rotate on the hinge here and around and down. And this piece just kind of sits here like this. You can see the connector piece for the arm right here, which will flip out momentarily, but it sits up here like this. Go ahead and pull the legs down here. And the arms come up they're going to rotate. Go ahead and take the paw here. You got to bring this around and flip while it's sideways is how you do it. Flip this around like this, because you can see there's a peg here that's going to peg into the arm when we get this all folded up properly. Take this around, fold this up and around, and this should come up and around here. I think I'm doing this right. Yeah, this should come up and around through here. Oh, like that. There we go. Never mind, like that. And then should sit like that. That doesn't seem right. Because these should sit up higher. I'm doing something wrong here. 1 second. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing here. Nope, I was doing that backwards. Okay. So this should come. Damn. Like this. There we go, and that's why you need to rotate this around, because once you get this piece, I knew there was a tab here that you had to flip this over for, so you gotta get this turned around on the limb here. And then this piece tabs on right there like that. And that's the arm piece. There we go. I knew I had this close to right, like that. That's how the arm should look. So yeah, let's do this. Bring this up like this, bring that leg up, and again, gotta try to turn it around and flip it that way, because you need to get that hinge down like that. Pull this up, and then pin the paw on right there. And there's the upper part of the arm done. We'll go ahead, I'm gonna use a screwdriver a little bit to pry this out, because it can be a little bit of a pain to get this out with just on your own with a finger. But once you get it going, it'll pop right out there. So that'll be the arm connector, which seems pretty sturdy. I don't know how tight it's gonna be in the torso, because we don't have the torso yet, but there you go. And then for down here, like I said, there's a lot of hinges and things down here in the legs, but we're gonna go ahead and untab these panels here from the side. Get the legs here. So yeah, get those out and lift them all the way up. And then you can go ahead and take the torso and the legs and extend the whole assembly out, although it takes a little bit of force to do it. There you go. There's the elbow that just got exposed. And that gives you a little bit more room to work down here on the legs. So split the legs. We're going to take this, fold this up. There's a tab here. And you'll see there's also a tab here. And then this whole thing, when we're ready to go, this whole thing is going to fold down and around like this. But you want to make sure that this tab, fold it up so this tab pegs in like this. And then we can just get this piece up and out of the way for the time being. Also go ahead and unsnap these red pieces. It's a little easier to do it now than when you get the legs mostly in place. So go ahead, don't do anything with them yet, but just go ahead and unsnap these. Then we're going to open up these red panels down here and open up the legs. At which point we're just going to kind of bring this inner joint here up. Again, you see it's collapsed down here. Bring this up and just pull it so that comes That comes up like that. Take these pieces and push them all the way in, like that. And then we're gonna rotate all these pieces around on the legs. See, this hinge comes up. And the first time I transformed it, I'm like, why would you make this complex? And you're gonna see why, because it makes a lot of this so much nicer when all is said and done. Come down here as well, open these up. This piece right here. And then these little panels right here, there's a couple little panels on this joint that basically just fold up to fill in that part for the leg. We'll flip those up. Yeah, there we go. Flip those up like that. And then you can collapse this whole thing down and close it up down here like that. This panel is eventually this is going to plug in right here to the leg, but we're going to bring this all down. I'm going to bring this forward, up and around. I believe we want to rotate it around like that, because these are going to come up. And rotate this piece around like this and fold the foot up like that. And then also this piece, this red piece right here between these flaps comes out like this, because these pegs are going to peg in here onto the leg. So you bring this back down so it's flush here, and then fold the leg in on the hinge like this. You want to make sure that hinge goes all the way down and around and in like that. And then this is going to peg on, should peg on here to the foot. There's something I'm missing here. And this should come down like this, actually. Oh, that's what I was missing. It just wasn't down all the way down on the hinges. And this is going to peg on right here, like that. Let's see, because this has got should tab onto here. It's got to peg in like that. It's just a matter of getting all this stuff straight here. Get it down on the ball joint so that pegs in like that. It should stay up like that. That's because that's going to come up here like that. Looks right. Okay. Bring that up like that. Fold this in. And, well, not fold that in yet, but same thing over here. Bring all this around. Put the leg in to the inside. Which way did we go with this? There we go. Bring this up and over. Like I said, this is a very frustrating hinge here with all the moving parts, because like this piece comes around on a separate hinge and this piece comes around on a separate hinge. It's possible to do this more elegantly than I am, just FYI. It's a little harder to do it at arm's reach. Oh, forgot to collapse all the leg down and all that good stuff. Collapse the leg down, all those panels. No, go in there all the way. Pull that down. And then, oh yeah, there's a tab here. The foot pegs on there too as well. I don't think I showed that off already on this foot. But that should peg on right there like that. Again, bring it up and make sure the hinge is flat. And bring this piece up. Here. Fold this up. And again, bring this down and make sure this pegs on here to the waist piece, like that. And you can peg the legs together. And these should just sit here like that. Now that's part of the reason I'm having an issue here too, is that wasn't folded in. There we go. Like that. You can see that's all sitting on the back here. Fold these panels up and under the tail piece. And then the tail piece comes down, covers these red pieces a little bit. Go ahead and plug this in here. And then the tail itself folds in. Fold it in like that. Comes down, and then there's that tab I was talking about earlier, tabs here in here into the legs. And locks into place like that. So now everything's all locked together nice and tight. This panel should have folded around and tabbed in right here like that. And then you rotate the elbow this way and rotate that around so the claws are on what will be the back of the arm. And then you take the hand piece, make sure these are together, and then the hand just slides over these tabs right here like that, and there you have a very robust. He's got a swivel below the elbow and above the elbow. It's very strong ratchet elbows. The plug back here. He's got the wrist swivel, which is a little squeaky. I may put some oil on that or some shock lube, but the posable fingers. Now, unfortunately, the wrist only has a swivel. It doesn't move up or down or side to side here. A mild trade-off, a minor trade-off, but it is a trade-off. I guess you could fold this if you wanted to look more coherent. You could kind of fold that in there. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't listen to me. But a very nice, solid arm mode here. For I feel like these are wrong, but yeah, very, very large. Here he is with MMC's Vortex Bruticus arm, just to give you an idea of the size of him. Like, he's about the same. Well, you can see where the connector is, and he's a much beefier arm. Also, a lot more heft to him as well. I'm going to double check the instructions here just to make sure I've got the legs done properly. Oh yeah, I was right. Okay, I knew these panels pegged into something. I did have this wrong. These should fold down because these panels should peg into these. These should. Let's go ahead and split the legs. Open that up. Yeah, this folds down in here like that, and then this peg right here goes into a slot on this panel. I knew that looked more solid. It's supposed to look more solid down here. Glad I double checked that. So yeah, there we go. That's what the arm looks like. So there's not even any gaps. Like it comes together very solidly. It doesn't look. I love that it doesn't even really look like. I mean, if you look at the back, you can see the feet, but it doesn't even look like it's just two robot legs like so many other combiners do. Come on, go on there. Whoop. Go on. Go back on. I'm trying. There we go. But yeah. So yeah, it's a nice cohesive arm. And again, when those are pegged in properly, I knew there was a reason for those tabs on there. it looks a lot more cohesive, and it's not empty, which is nice. Very good, solid arm. And from here, we can go on into robot mode, which will go ahead and just push that back in right off the bat. Go ahead and unpeg the tail, lift that up, unpeg these side panels. I guess that one's already unpegged. But unpop these side panels, open up the legs, go ahead and bring these red panels down and snap them back into place down here. Like that. There we go. Sure, snap that on both sides. Untab the legs here. Come on. This middle post. This one does not want to come loose. Let's go ahead and pop that off. There we go. Go ahead and push this piece back up into the waist. Don't think we're going to need to lift those up at all, but straighten the arm joint, and we'll figure out how to rotate that out in a moment. Let's go ahead and flip that piece up, because this is going to fold around, because that panel is the knee panel. Get the leg out of the way, bring that up to form the knee. And then down here, we're going to rotate. This is obviously the robot mode foot. Now also, there is some weird, like TFC-esque, random yellow transparent plastic in the feet. And it is in his robot eyes as well, but in his saber-tooth eyes. But not really used. It's thankfully, unlike TFC, it's not used in like some important structural bits or all over the combiner, but it's just weird to have just this in the bottom of the feet. Anyway, so we're going to fold this up. This leg is going to come up inside it should stay collapsed. Rotate the foot around so the toes are facing forward. The robot toes face forward, the claws go in the back. And it's just a matter of getting this all back. Like I said, this hinge has a lot of bits on it that can be annoying. And then this closes up. This little triangle piece goes into the slot here on here. And you can kind of rotate this around and fold it up against the leg like that. And this panel comes back around onto here. You can see how that all fits together to form the lower leg there. And then these waist panels just kind of sit like this on the side. We'll get the other leg here. Now this, I'm trying to remember exactly how this goes in a certain way, and I don't know if it's, no, it's this way. So the hinge faces forward, and then rotate the whole assembly around. So it's on the front, and then this part just collapses back up. And again, it takes a little bit more force than I'm used to. I wish there was like some sort of release lever here to get that to collapse better. There we go. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the robot mode leg real quick. So open that up, flip it all the way up and around like that. And bring his leg in, bring this down and around. Unpeg the foot. I don't like that squeaking either. Doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything, but there's a lot of squeaking. Yeah, come on, there we go. Peg the leg in. Come on. There we go. Well, no, you need to, this needs to stay up there like that. There we go. Take this in. Bring this down and around. Come on. Oh, whoops. Looks like I got it caught. Okay. That's fine. Fold that up. Peg that back on. And there's his robot legs done. There we go. And coming up here to the top. Focus it here. The arms come back down and around, undo the paws, bring them down. Again, kind of do it, lift it up, turn around to the side so it can flip back over. And then this just kind of folds up here, and here is the tab here. The arm tabs onto the back there, just like that. And we'll do the same over here. We'll take this down, and do the paw, lift it up, rotate it, flip it over, bring it the rest of the way around, and tab it on, just like there to the back. And then open up this, and flip out his hands, and then close that back up. His hands have individually posable fingers. Again, 2 knuckles it looks like. There's a knuckle there and a knuckle there, and then the, what was that? It's clearly a panel of some sort, but I don't know. Oh, it's just, it was a hand panel came off. That's all right, we can just glue that back on. There you go, just like that. Yeah, that wasn't broken, it just wasn't glued on securely. And then a dual hinge and a 2 knuckles on the thumb, as well as an up and down hinge, which is nice. And then same over here on this hand. Same fingers. And fold that back down. And then up here on this piece, lift this whole thing up and rotate this around. Go ahead and bring this whole thing, you can see the hinge this whole assembly is on, bring it down so this is all the way at the back, and then fold this piece down, and this piece will plug in and cover the combiner joint, and then you can kind of, but it should all sit so that this snaps in to cover the combiner joint, and this should all sit so it's kind of flat and vertical there on the back, just like that. And just snap that piece in place. You can go ahead and fold again the tail pegs onto this back plate here. Just a matter of getting it lined up right. Come on. There we go. And then you just fold that up. You can, I'll just leave it however you want to do it. You can, before you plug this in, if you have this piece up, you can bring this up, tab it on, and have this plug in like it does in limb mode, although that does put this, this gets a little bit away the clearance, but you can fold the tail up however you want. You can have it hanging down on his back, however you want to do it. And then you bring this whole assembly out again, flip his head up and around on this ball joint and hinge, fold these in, and then snap it right back into place, push the head up, and then pull the head all the way forward on that ball joint. And there he is in robot mode. And my only real complaint about, I love his robot mode. I think it looks great. I feel like, and I've grown used to it. When I first opened him, I felt like this really thin strip of orange on his face mask should have been wider. But the more I look at him, the more I've been playing with him, the more I'm kind of grown used to seeing it thin like that. I think it looks good. I love the position of the head on the chest. And again, if you want to maybe can point the ears up, or have them out in the way they are. However you want to do it, it's fine. But they can move. And there he is. He comes with 2 weapons. He comes with a sword, which is clearly going to be part of a larger sword. You can see some connecting clips here. And then like some very tooth-like, it looks like almost like a jaw. This looks like, and it looks like there may be some sort of laser gun bit in here. And there's a pin here. This is just a piece that secures it in place on both sides. It looks like it should be, like this should rotate in some way. I haven't been able to do it. I'm not going to force it because this looks like the detail in here looks like it could be some sort of gun barrel on top of the teeth, but it doesn't move. It looks like it's just supposed to be a sword. It's got a little groove in it because he does have some little grooves inside his hands that you can attach things to. Although when you do that, you want to move his hand by holding the hand. If you try to move it, since it's not a closed circle, if you try to move it with the sword, the friction's not enough to twist the hand with it. You want to twist it at the hand, otherwise it'll just pull the sword out of his hand. He also comes with his cannon, which is on a pivot. It can also plug in back here in his animal mode if you want to give his animal mode a cannon. Forgot to show that off, but this is on a hinge. I don't know if this is also going to, looks like with these pegs and this rotating hinge, it looks like this may also become part of a larger combined cannon. It does also extend. He can use it in either position, but it's probably going to be part of a larger combined cannon. But it also has a little slot in the handle, so you can put it on his hand and peg it into place and wrap his fingers around it like that. It holds a little better. You might be able to move his hand with it, but again, I recommend if you're going to twist it, make sure to secure the hand when you're posing it with a weapon in it, because it's very easy to. He holds it securely. It's not going to shake out, but if you try to put any leverage on it, it will pull off of the tab. But yeah, very large, very hefty, very nice design. He's got, like I said, the ball joint. The whole thing is the ball joint at the head. He's got squeaky ratcheting shoulders, but ratcheting shoulders. Yeah, we're going to shock oil this bad boy. Bicep swivels, dual hinged elbows. He does have the wrist swivel and the aforementioned fully articulated fingers. He does have waist swivel, obviously. The panels all lift up. He's got dual action hips, thigh swivel, ratcheting knees, although the bulk of his leg keeps it from moving too much. But I just like the design, the shape of that leg. It just looks powerful. And he's got the ball joint at the feet, as well as toes. I don't think the toes rotate. The toes are just on a hinge there, yeah. But very solid, very secure in most poses. I haven't had any issues with him falling over. But yeah, very cool. I'm looking forward to the rest of him. Whatever, Thunder King or whatever they're calling him. But FEROCIOUS is a great start.